across the thick smoke of earth's ignorance, across the thick smoke of earth's ignorance. Yeah, well, that is what happens now down below, you see, in the last nothingness. A mind began to see and look at form. That is also a very rapid kind of a revolution. Upon the smoke of earth's ignorance, there were material objects only. Then came animal life. Then came man. Mind began to see and look at form and groped for knowledge in the nascent night. In this darkness, it is looking for the light of knowledge, you see. And groped for knowledge in the nascent night. Caught in a blind stone grip force, worked its plan and made in sleep this huge mechanical world. Across the thick smoke of earth, a mind. So, who made this world mechanical world? A mind. A mind. Made in sleep, because it is all in ignorance. And made in sleep the huge mechanical world. That matter might grow conscious of its soul. The soul of matter must be realized by matter. Matter is not aware that deep within it there is a soul. A pearl, a diamond, a precious stone, a jewel is not aware, a topaz is not aware that there is a soul within it, you see. Caught in a blind stone grip force, worked its plan and made in sleep this huge mechanical world. Sleep in ignorance. That matter might grow conscious of its soul and like a busy midwife, the life power. So mind, now life power. She is the midwife. Deliver the zero carrier or the all, zero carrier. The code can be kind of deciphered, disclosed by the life power, you see. Because eternal eyes turn on earth's struggle. All this has happened, all this is possible because the eternal eyes are intimately connected with the earth. The constant gaze is there, the eternal eye. The mysterious process means that yes, there is the earth, but then there is the divine also looking after the earth. That is the mysterious process. The whole evolution is starting, is going on because there is the divine gaze looking after the whole thing. Because eternal eyes turn on earth's realm, the lucent clarity of a pure regard, and saw a shadow of the unknowable. Yeah, in this whole creation coming up from the earth. So earth is center where the evolution is taking place, the significant center, the purposeful place where only the evolution is possible. In the entire hierarchy of this creation, all these million worlds, all these world after world in the hierarchy of the mountain chariot who is climbing, it is not there. It is only on earth. Earth is this special thing. And saw a shadow of the unknowable. Well, it is really the shadow of the unknowable, you see. So now, actually that also makes us very clear once again, the parent of the earth, earth's parent, is the shadow of the unknowable. It is the shadow of the unknowable. And saw the shadow of the unknowable mirrored in the inconscience boundlessly. Creation's search for self began its stir. So very rapidly he is describing the whole process, but basically the entire thrust is on earth, how things started. First, the five elements were created, Mahat Tattva, as the literature says, ancient Indian literature says, Mahat Tattva, 24 tattvas are there. Of that, 5 elements are one of them, you see, one set of them, you see. Now, it is these 5 elements which have created earth. And earth is foundation, the last element, which is really the basis for the evolutionary growth, you see. He has described all these things. He has not described water, he has not, well, water in a way he has described by saying life force. Water he has described by saying life force, you see. Life power, no? You have got Akash, you have got Vayu as the gravitating element for all the things. You have got fire, who is the builder of form, and you have got water, Apas, life, Jivana. Jivana is described as a river, as a flow, a continuous movement of consciousness, you see. And then earth is the element. So, the genesis of earth is described that way. How the first parent came into existence. Because the eternal eyes turned on earth's ground, the lucent clarity of a pure regard, and saw a shadow of the unknowable, mirrored in the inconscious boundlessly. Creation's search for self began its stir. Yeah. What I am here for, what I am, that search started with that. The evolution, the quest really starts with that, from the element of you. A spirit dreamed the crude cosmic world. Mind flowed unknowing, the sap of life. Spirit, mind flowed unknowing in the sap of life. Matter's breast suckled the divine idea. Matter, life, mind, spirit. Matter's breast suckled the divine idea. Yeah. Matter is the big base on which the idea is built, the divine idea is built, foundation, you see. Now, actually, this is equivalent to saying that matter, Annamaya Purusha. Matter, Annamaya Purusha. Life, Pranamaya Purusha, the vital being, the physical being, the vital being. Mind, Prana, Manomaya Purusha. Spirit, Vijnanamaya Purusha. A spirit dreamed in the crude cosmic world. Mind flowed unknowing in the sap of life. Mind is the sap of life. Prana Sharira Neta. What is mind? Mental being is Mana Prana Sharira Neta. He is the carrier, he is the leader of life in matter. Mind is the leader of life in matter. Prana Sharira Neta. And matter's breath suckled the divine idea. A miracle of the Absolute was born. Yeah, he starts with a mystery and it's a miracle. Really, how from the opposite something is really happening. What is the miracle? That infinity put on a finite soul. Something who is infinite can become small little thing, can put on a finite soul. All land, all ocean lived within a wandering drop. Take any part of water, any drop of water, it is the same thing, it is the same thing, it is the same thing. The whole of ocean is there in every drop of water in its quality, it is there always. All ocean lived within a wandering drop. A time-made body housed the illimitable. Really, it's a miracle. It's absolutely a miracle that the divine is coming and residing in us. How it happens? That's a miracle. The Rigveda says, Vamadeva Sukta, it says, the gods told Agni, go and live in man. The immortal entered into the mortal. The immortal entered into the mortal. It was the command of the gods which Agni obeyed, and he entered into the mortal. That is a miracle. How in the immortal can come and stay and live? That is a miracle. Something which is totally incompatible. You see, the quality of the mortal and immortal, they are totally different. That's a miracle. Yet, how it comes and lives there and operates there. Okay. In other words, that miracle means it's not really a miracle. It is a miracle in the sense that many stages, many links have not been spelled out, have not been provided, have not been given, have not been understood. The immortal comes and lives immortal is a very elementary kind of a statement. It doesn't really convey much, but how it really happened, how it works there, and by what mechanism it achieved that goal, those details are not in our sight. Therefore, to us it appears a miracle, but not to the one who is building up the whole thing. When Agni is told, go and live in a mortal, he goes and lives in a mortal. Well, the whole process, the whole sequence, the entire operational aspect, the details are already known to them. When the gods say, go and live in mortal, it means that they know how he has to go, how he has to operate, how he has to work there. You see. But we are not aware of it, therefore it is a miracle to us. A miracle of the Absolute was born. Well, actually the first miracle of the Absolute is the Absolute turns into a void. He is holding in him, every potentiality, every possibility, every presence is there in it, but he becomes a void. That is the miracle. How? We don't know. That is the real miracle. How the whole becomes zero. That's a miracle. How he empties it out. That's a miracle. Really, we don't know. To live this mystery out, our souls came here. Now he has given here the purpose of our being present in this evolutionary creation. To live this mystery out, the infinite has become finite, the timeless has become moments and hours and moments. The spaceless has become points and points and points. How to live that mystery out, our souls came here. The purpose of the soul's plunging here is what is described here. We have already seen in the book of Fate, Narad is describing that it is our soul in the transcendent, which was very happy and all that thing. It became curious of the shadow of the truth cast here in this world. It becomes curious of it. And to leave that curiosity out, it plunged. So that it finds out what is that thing really, that shadow for what, and then it has accepted the hazards of that plunge to really find out the truth which is there in the shadow of truth. The truth which is there in the shadow of the truth. To find out, to discover that, to live, to open it out, our souls have come here. You see. So it's a great adventure. It's a great brave move actually by our soul that we have come. Otherwise we could have lived happily, merrily in the transcendent. As Jivatman, we could have lived there always, you see. But then to the joy of creation, the joy of growth, the joy of expansion, the joy of new possibilities coming into play would be missed. Jivatman doesn't have that. Our soul which has come into evolution, our little Vishnu who is there, it is he who is enjoying that possibility here, you see. To live this mystery out, our soul came here. Now again here says mystery out. You see, the whole the description started with mystery. A mysterious process in the universe. He started with the mystery, you see. He started with the mystery. To live this mystery out, our souls came here. A seer within who knows the ordered plan. Now, you see, this is a double description throughout. We have to understand in many senses the traveler or the world he is describing. He is describing Ashwapati climbing up and all that kind of thing. The king, yoga is there, he is climbing up the ladder. Now, who is this soul? Who is this Ashwapati? Who is this traveler? Who is discovering this world? Now, in the legend of Savitri, it is Ashwapati. In the symbol of Savitri, it is the divine soul. It is the divine soul who has come here and who is discovering all these things. So you have to constantly understand the interchangeability of these two roles, of the legend and of the symbol. The divine soul who is really carrying forward the whole thing, who is seeing all these things, it is he who is living and operating. It is not Ashwapati who is coming and seeing all this. It is the divine soul who is really growing constantly, you see. It is the divine soul who is going constantly, you see. It is our divine soul which has come down here. Our souls have come down here and the divine soul is carrying forward. So the whole ladder here is in the legend of Savitri is for Ashwapati to discover the details of these realms, of these various worlds, to discover the details from the evolutionary point of view, to discover each and every. He has already the Satchidananda consciousness, but then with the Satchidananda consciousness, he is seeing the details of these 1,000 worlds. He is seeing with Satchidananda consciousness the details of these 1,000 worlds, the whole hierarchy of this world. This mountain chariot is climbing, that is the God's chariot, you see, climbing up. Now, in the symbol, it is the divine soul who is really carrying the evolution forward. That little Vishnu, the divine Agni, it is who is really marching forward, you see. So we have to be a little careful, observant about both the things. You see, in a certain sense, they are interchangeable. In a certain sense, there is a kind of little distinction between the two. And we have to be a little careful.